thunderous roar of an engine, crackling of pipes, swift cars blazing by, and of course, the terrifying crashes. As you can guess, I am talking about the sport of NASCAR. NASCAR is one of America's favorite sports. However, many tend to disagree and would consider it not a sport at all. Why would they ask this? Well, my name is Taylor Rose, and by the end of this speech, it is my goal to convince you all that NASCAR is in fact a sport, and a very great one at that. During my speech, I will cover what NASCAR is, the teamwork involved, the strategy that goes on, and the popularity of the sport. NASCAR, or the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, was founded by William France Sr. on February 21st, 1948. The first sanctioned race held by NASCAR was on Daytona's Beach Course, February 29th, 1948. Now, stock car auto racing was an American pastime dating before this, all the way back to the Prohibition. This picture right here shows back in the late 40s of the first early stock cars racing and what NASCAR kind of, an image of what NASCAR looks like. It's a lot different from now, so it just goes to show the leaps and bounds that the sport has taken. Not just a sport, NASCAR is a passion shared by millions nationwide. Hundreds of thousands come to see these electrifying races to experience the rumble of engines, crackling of the pipes, and crashing wrecks. Just like many other sports, NASCAR has flyovers, presentation of our nation's colors, and prayers that are spoken before every race. According to ESPN, NASCAR is the #2 most watched sport behind the NFL. Over 215 million viewers tune in to watch NASCAR in a single season. Now, NASCAR's equivalent to the NFL Super Bowl would be the Daytona 500, and that's the first race marking every race season. And this race alone gathers 18 million viewers. According to MSNBC, NASCAR is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that attracts more money, more people from Fortune 500 companies than any other sport or entertainment property in America. NASCAR is not a corporation. It is in fact a family-owned and operated business that has been passed down since the creation of it. Now, in terms of fan interaction, there's no sport that compares when it comes to fan interaction. NASCAR lets you get as close as it gets to the action. Before races, fans are able to purchase pit passes, which allow you to go in pretty much like backstage passes, allowing you to meet the drivers, see the vehicles, take a tour of the garage, meet the mechanics, and interact with all the crew and team members. So that's a really cool aspect of it. Races are fun, loud atmosphere with fast-paced action and good energy everywhere you go. It's a great sport, and it's a good place to bring your family to. This picture right here shows fans with their pit passes able to meet one of their favorite drivers, get memorabilia signed by hand, talk, have a great time, enjoy the sun, and it's just a really fun place to be. In terms of a physical sport, NASCAR is about as physical as it gets. During a single race, a driver may go for hours on end, between 300 and 600 miles in a single race. Talk about a sport of endurance. Average speeds in a race range from 175 to 220 miles per hour. Pretty fast stuff right there. And according to sports science, drivers exert 3 to 4 G-forces on their body during a single turn. That's 4 times their body weight. So if a person was to weigh 180 pounds, they would feel like they weigh 720 pounds. Now, if that you don't consider out a sport, I don't know what you do consider a sport. Now, depending on the conditions of a race, core temperatures in a stock car can soar up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, drivers are encased in a thick fire retardant suit that makes things a lot hotter. Just like every sport, drivers and teams must train in the gym and maintain athletic ability. This picture right here shows racer Carl Edwards as he's training in his workshop where his drivers are down there, and he's lifting weights, training, getting in shape for his races, just like many other athletes in pro sports do. This is just a driver. It shows he's in his suit, he's in his car, limited mobility, you're in a neck brace, you have your helmet on, and I mean, it's hot as hell up in there. So, you know, it's a tough sport. You gotta be a tough guy to be able to go through the things that they do. And my next slide is NASCAR is a sport based around teamwork. Teams are set up with the driver, the pit crew, the crew chief, and the spotter. Each has a vital responsibility to the success of the team. The pit crew, for example, has a window of only 13 seconds to change the tires, fuel the vehicle, and make necessary adjustments. The crew chief, he's like the head honcho. He calls all the shots, telling the driver when to pit, telling him if he shouldn't, and he's got a one-on-one basis, always talking to the driver. Now, the spotter has a very interesting job, and it's really crucial, just as the other ones are. The spotter is pretty much the team's eyes and ears. He's up in a tower, and he's scouting, giving crucial information on how the driver should position himself, how he should pass, and what other drivers are doing in a race. And of course, we have the driver, who we all know makes everything happen. And, you know, that's pretty much makes up the team. With everyone having their own job, and team members must be with everyone having their own job, all team members must be on the same page in order for success on race day. Right here is a picture of Jeff Gordon's team right after a pit stop. You know, probably had 12, 13 seconds to make all their necessary adjustments, and just goes to show the teamwork and how tough the sport is. I mean, it's as tough as it gets. NASCAR requires some of the most strategy of any sport as well. Just like in football, they call plays. Baseball, they change a pitcher, or call to steal a base. NASCAR has to make strategic decisions too. For example, deciding whether or not to make a pass or make a pit can make or break a race. Or calling in a pass on an opposing driver, each are strategic decisions a NASCAR team must make. Another factor to consider is each race is different, and each track is set up in a way different from the one prior, so necessary adjustments must be made to the vehicle for each race. According to dictionary.com, teamwork is a cooperative effort on the part of a team of persons acting together as a team. NASCAR clearly shows this. In conclusion, there are plenty of facts showing that NASCAR is indeed a sport. I've explained the teamwork involved, the popularity of the sport, and how physically demanding the sport is. So the next time you do watch NASCAR, don't just think, oh, all these guys do is just make a left turn. How hard can that be? Rather, think of all the core and crucial elements made up of the sport. Thank you very much, and thanks for listening.